Alright, so do you remember Samurai Jack? And Jack was voiced by Phil Lamar, an amazing voice actor and just an actor in general. Now, Samurai Jack is arguably one of the greatest cartoons to ever exist. Now, in short, Samurai Jack defeats an evil demon called Aku, and when Jack was about to deal the finishing blow, this demon entity called Aku sent him off into the future using a time traveling spell. And basically, the premise was simple. Well, if he sends him away, then that will give time for Aku to prepare and to become more powerful over time. And Jack's missions were simple. Number one, to defeat Aku, to stop his evil reign, and then number two, to make it to his original point in time. Now you could imagine that Jack has went through many trials and tribulations since the start of the season all the way to the ending of season 5. Now of course he's fought some powerful foes, but he's also made some powerful allies as well. Now there are many theories for this show that I would like to get into, so type in theories in the comment section if you want me to cover theories for this show. But in the meantime, let's get into the ending of Samurai Jack. Now eventually Jack meets a woman called Ashi, and Ashi is a very powerful warrior, and when Ashi first met Jack, she thought of him as an enemy. Now, Ashi was raised by the daughters of Aku. Now, what's really cool is that we learned that Ashi is actually the daughter of Aku. Now, you might say, well, how did Aku, this demon entity, impregnate one of the high priestesses? Well, he kind of recalls a memory where he has a hard time remembering of him pouring out a piece of his essence into this chalice or this cup, and he basically thinks that she drank it and then became pregnant. And Ashi went through a process of self-discovery and eventually joined forces with Jack in order to defeat Aku. Now this is where we come to the close of the show and also an explanation to the ending itself. Now throughout the rest of the show, Ashi and Jack formed a bond like none other, and Jack started to fall in love with her, for lack of better words. She was quite literally the love of his life. Now remember, throughout the whole entire show, Jack didn't really have time to sit down and get to know someone, but he was always going from battle to battle, from self-revelation to basically evolution in terms of his skill sets and also mental fortitude. Now, Ashi and Jack went back in time in order to defeat Aku, and Jack successfully did, but what then he learned was Ashi was fading away from existence. And this makes sense. Well, if Aku is not there, well, how could he impregnate the high priestess in order to have one of the 7 daughters? And while this was sad for Jack, he did see a ladybug a little bit later on. Now, some of you will say, Zen, you just threw out that ladybug concept out of nowhere. What does that have to do? Jack just basically lost the love of his life. Well, later on this happened where the ladybug did land on him and then he smiled. Now the question everyone had was, why is he smiling? Now in Japanese culture, a ladybug signifies luck, but also love as well. Now this is representative of it being lucky to have it land on you, but more importantly, that Jack was lucky enough to have Ashi in his life. Now I know this doesn't sound like a really great ending in the sense where he lost the love of his life, but what we can say is that he was lucky to have her. And don't forget to type in theories in the comment section below, but also if you want me to cover old school nostalgic cartoons, let me know in the comment section as well. Later everyone.